What's going on, guys? It's Stribbers and welcome to episode 34 of PGR2 Road to Platinum. So we're going to finish the track special series in this episode. We've only got 4 more events to do, so that leads us nicely up to the end of this series. So we've got a street race, a one-on-one, a speed camera and a final street race to finish the series off. So we're going to be jumping in to a street race for this episode, and we're going to be using the Noble for every race in this episode. They're pretty difficult actually, these ones. The couple street races are hard against the Noble. This one's not particularly too bad actually, but the last one is pretty hard. So we can go around the outside on this corner of most of these cars. I found that was the best route to get past those cars so that this Noble doesn't get away, and it is having a little battle with the Dodge in front. And we're able to get past him because he crashed into the barrier on the left hand side. Pulling alongside the Dodge, showing you the better acceleration of the Noble here. Able to take him on the inside, but he will have the inside for this next corner, but we managed just to get ahead of him, so he's not going to be troubling us there. So already we are in first place after the first few corners, which isn't too bad. That was mainly due to that first corner, being able to go round all the other cars, round the outside, and go into third place. And then also, because the Dodge is in second, he was able to defend against that other Noble, which then sort of crashed and let us through. So that really does make things a lot easier for us. And I still think that whichever car is in second place does drive better than the car in third place, no matter what car it is. And we're actually getting quite a lead now. You see 3 seconds, and I'm not sure whether that's because the Dodge is in second and the Noble's in third, so the Noble's not driving as well as the Dodge. So we're able just to pull away on the straights around the corners, really. As you'll see throughout this race, we will start to just build upon this lead, getting further and further away. It's just over 3 seconds now. So again, in this street race, the crucial thing is just getting ahead early, or at least getting towards the front couple cars quite early on, and not getting involved in battling the cars towards the back of the pack, because the other cars will get away and you'll... Well, it depends on the size of the race really. This one you might just be able to catch them up, because it is a fairly lengthy race. It's over a minute a lap, 3 laps, so you might have a chance of catching them up. But it's always better to try and keep restarting until you get that first corner right. Very, very nearly hitting the barrier there. That corner I'm not sure how to take before the finish line. It's a little difficult. I think slow and smooth through there is probably quicker than trying to be too quick and failing in power sliding like I just did then. Very lucky not to hit the inside of the barrier, but came away unscathed, which was quite lucky for us. But you can see on that mini-map now how much of a lead we are building up here. Nearly 6 seconds, so it will take something catastrophic to not win this one now. But yeah, that corner before the finish line is a little bit difficult. I can't seem to get that right. But we've only got half of this lap left, or less than that actually. So as I say, this street race isn't too bad. The last street race is pretty difficult. The speed camera is difficult as well in this one. The one-on-one's not too bad. So we've got a couple okay events and a couple quite difficult ones to do. So I learnt my lesson from that corner there, as I did it a lot slower and smoother, which turned out to be quicker, I think. So we got the clean race in that one as well. So nearly 3,000 kudos, in-game kudos for that race, which is very nice. And you see the Dodge finished 8 seconds behind, and a Noble finished 11 seconds, which I don't think would really be the case if it wasn't for that sort of AI structuring where some drive better than others. But anyway, platinum medal down into a one-on-one, which is going to be against the Noble. In Moscow, 3 laps, and it's a very large track, this one, as they always are in Moscow. I think it's the one that we did the overtake with, the Ferrari 575. I think it's the same race. But we start on this lengthy straight, which is also very wide. Taking that corner a little bit wide and cutting inside, could have gone quicker through there. But if you're side by side, the other Noble going through that corner, it is pretty difficult not to spin out, to be honest. So maybe it's better keeping your distance on that first corner and then just sticking with him, getting in the draft zone and finding a better opportunity to overtake him. So I'm opting up the inside there, but then I backed out because I'm not sure how that was going to play out. But he goes a little bit close to the inside of that corner, which allows us to swoop in wide and cut in, but he was in the racing line there, I couldn't get out of the way, so I did give him a bit of a speed boost. But we are alongside him now, coming to this corner, seeing what we can do here. Sort of forcing him wide a little bit, but making sure we take the racing line and we get the overtake done before the second lap starts. And I think that slowed him down quite a lot, as you can see, from us taking the racing line, him forced to go a little bit wider. But we come across for the second lap, and these are about 1:20-ish per lap. Well, that's the first lap. The next couple of laps will be a little bit quicker because obviously we are having a rolling start. Taking that corner a bit better that time because I didn't have to judge where the other Noble was going to be. But yeah, this one's not too bad. So the first couple events in this episode were the easier ones, and the next couple are going to be a little bit challenging. But we'll get to those after this, obviously. But this track's a little bit weird to try and find the racing line because it's so wide. You don't naturally know where to go on the track, so you really got to look out for those braking zones, the tyre marks on the track, to see where you're going to go. So I broke a little bit too early there, but I did find the racing line in the end. And this bit especially here, it's so wide the corner, you can't really see where to go, so you've just got to find your way around as best you can. As we are opening up that lead now, coming onto the straight for the final lap. And you can see how much slower the Noble's top speed climbs once it's above 150. We are getting towards its top speed of 170 here, but it climbs very slowly. And if you've ever driven the Porsche or the Ferrari, or even the Dodge actually, at this sort of speed, you'll see it climbs quicker in the higher gears. It's definitely fifth gear where this car struggles. Yeah, it's not built for that top end. And we come around that corner and get loads of oversteer going towards the barrier, so we collide with that, losing the clean race and losing quite a lot of time there. So that should make it a little bit more interesting if he can catch up on this. Taking that corner a little slow, trying to find a racing line, and actually hitting the barrier again, so that's 2 times in the final lap. But having a little look behind there, he is fairly far behind still, just over a second. So unless we do something really stupid, we should be alright here. And then we come around the final corner now. Again, not sure where the racing line is there at all, but using that runoff there on the curb. And now we're on the final straight. It's not going to catch us now, so that's another platinum medal when we do cross the line. Crossing at 162 miles an hour, very nice. That was not too bad. It is against the Noble obviously, but because there's only one car, you shouldn't have too many problems with that, even if you need to take him out. 6,000 kudos, very nice. And we've got 2 events left, so the speed camera and a street race. Speed camera, obviously we're going to have to use the Noble because of its acceleration. It's only 130 miles an hour. But 114 for hard, that is a massive gap between hard and platinum of 16 miles an hour. So this is round the carousel on the Nürburgring, and this is pretty difficult. This took me a lot of attempts to try and get this right. So what I do is I ease off in 3rd gear, just roll round the carousel, and just over halfway start accelerating nice and smooth, because I got 129 miles an hour trying to sort of brake harshly into the carousel and try and stick too close to the inside of it. But yeah, I got 129 miles an hour, basically a lot, many times in a row. So 130 miles an hour was a bit of an elusive target, but we did get it in the end, and that was a tactic I found worked. Just easing round the carousel, then accelerating just over halfway to the exit point of the carousel, and you should be okay. It will take a few attempts to get the right line and the right acceleration, but we got there in the end, and the last race is a street race, and this is also pretty difficult. There's two Nobles that are in first and second at the moment, so you've got to fight through this traffic to start gaining on them. And that Dodge goes for the overtake there, but we're able to undercut them around this corner, back on them into fifth. So we've got 4 cars ahead of us, and the carousel is not really a place to overtake cars. It's not really wide enough, although that Dodge is trying it. So we just have to stick behind them here until we get to the exit point, and they go a little bit wide out of there and slow, which allows us to cut on the inside of them and just overtake them. But already the Nobles have got a 1.7 second advantage on us, so we've got to try and track them down. I think the Nobles went on the grass a little bit there as you saw some dust kicking up, so I think they slowed down as I sort of mounted the curb there and at least spun out. But making some ground on them through this corner. But it really isn't easy to drive on the Nürburgring on this game. It's very hard to keep off that grass. It's almost like your car gets sucked towards the grass, and as soon as you get onto a curb and accelerate, the car does power slide like hell, which to be fair happens on most games, but this seems exaggerated. We are just behind these two Nobles now, catching them up. That Noble going very wide there. I think it crashed into the front, or to the back of the other Noble, and we're able just to bully him wide a little bit there. He braked more than we did, so we ended up hitting him from behind and pushing him wide, but it does allow us to get into the lead. So we've just got to keep this lead now through the last portion of this Nürburgring. And as you can see, I keep going on the grass, getting those 2 wheels on the grass, which really does slow you down. Again there. Luckily it's sort of over the curb, so it's not horrendous. But it is very difficult to keep off the grass. It's a little bit annoying. But we're just half a second ahead, so not very comfortable, and the AI are doing this part of the track a lot quicker than I am. Not really taking the right line through there either, and also power sliding a bit through there, but we're just about getting the job done. Still ahead round this the second carousel. Doing that okay, not too bad. It could have gone a bit quicker, but they go pretty slow through there. As you see, we've got a second advantage on them. And yeah, definitely taking this bit too slow. Didn't practice this part of the track, so that's my first time coming around there, and it shows, as I didn't do that quickly enough at all. But it doesn't matter, because we still beat both the Nobles, and in fact the Dodge is actually the third there, and the Porsche behind that, so I don't know what happened to that other Noble. That got in 5th place, so that must have spun out and crashed pretty badly there. 6,800 kudos, and that is the track special series done. So we've unlocked the Extreme series, and this is when it starts getting really fun, this game. These next 2 series are really good, very good cars and pretty enjoyable, and they're quite long as well. A lot of events in there. As you can see how many series we have done there, only 2 left now. So in the next episode we'll have a timed run, an overtake, a street race and a one-on-one to do. And that's going to be the end of this episode, guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next episode.